Meet Graham, 29 years old, marketing coordinator, $52,000 a year, no inheritance, no side hustle, no shortcuts, just 3.5 years of quiet, unglamorous discipline, and a bank account that just crossed $20,017. And sitting on his couch that night, Graham felt absolutely nothing. No fireworks, no freedom, just more anxiety about losing it. Here's what nobody told Graham at this milestone. According to Federal Reserve data, nearly 50% of Americans have less than $500 in total savings. Not $20,000, $500. Graham isn't average. He just doesn't know it yet, because $20,000 is the exact moment money shifts from manual to mechanical. And almost nobody plays this new phase correctly. Hi, I'm Beth, and I'm going to show Graham and you the 25% acceleration rule, the poverty tax he just stopped paying, and the 695 system that turns this milestone into a launch pad. Stay with me, and if you want more deep dives into how wealthy people think and operate, hit that subscribe button, because knowledge is power. To get here, Graham saved $500 a month for exactly 40 months. $500 times 40 months equals $20,000. He skipped the group trips. He packed his lunch. He was the only engine. Every dollar required his personal sacrifice. So the night Graham hit $20,000, here's what ran through his head. Now I have to do this again. Another 40 months. I'll be 33 before I have $40,000. I cannot keep grinding like this forever. That thought, exhausted, deflating, is exactly where most people quietly give up. But here is what Graham is completely missing. At a conservative 7% average annual return, the historical inflation-adjusted average for a basic index fund, his $20,000 now generates $116 a month in passive contribution. $20,000 times 7% equals $1,400 per year, divided by 12 equals $116 per month. $500 savings plus $116 investment equals $616 per month. Effective rate. Graham is now putting away $616 a month without working a single extra hour. Run the full compound interest math. The second $20,000 arrives in 30 months, not 40. That is the 25% acceleration rule. Not from a raise, not from luck, because the phase changed. That assumes Graham's full $20,000 is invested. In a moment, I'll show you the smart split and the honest numbers when you keep part liquid. The story is still good. I'll prove it. But first, there's a return Graham is already collecting that never shows up anywhere in his portfolio. And it might be worth more than the compound interest itself. The poverty tax. The 22% guarantee Graham didn't know he earned. 8 months before Graham hit $20,000, his car broke down. Transmission. $1,800. He paid cash. Moved on with his week. But 2 years before that, same car, same bill, Graham had no savings. And that $1,800 went straight onto a credit card at 22% interest, right in line with today's national average APR. He wasn't just not earning money back then, he was bleeding it at a rate no investment strategy can fix. That's the poverty tax, the hidden premium people without savings pay on everything. Higher interest, desperate job decisions, panicked choices made from fear. By paying cash for that transmission this time, Graham effectively earned a 22% risk-free return on $1,800. No hedge fund guarantees 22%. Graham's savings account just did, by simply existing. The wealthy don't stay wealthy because they're smarter. They stay wealthy because they stopped paying the poverty tax, and Graham just joined that group. But here's what almost derailed everything for Graham the week after he hit $20,000, and it looked exactly like the responsible thing to do. This is where the trap closes for most people. Don't miss this. The fear trap plus the 695 rule. The week Graham hit $20,000, he opened a tab to research where to invest it, then closed it, opened it 3 days later, closed it again. 6 weeks later, the money was still sitting in his checking account, earning nothing. His internal monologue, "What if the market crashes? I worked 3.5 years for this. I'll wait until I understand it better." And while Graham waited, inflation, historically averaging around 3% per year over the long run, was quietly erasing his purchasing power every single day. Trying to keep money perfectly safe is one of the fastest ways to slow it down. What Graham needs isn't courage, it's a system. The 695 rule, 3 steps. Step 1. Keep $6,000 to $9,000 liquid in a high-yield savings account. This is the sleep-at-night fund. Job loss, medical bill, life? Handled. It doesn't need to grow fast. It needs to keep Graham calm and rational. Step 2. Deploy the remaining $11,000 to $14,000. Retirement accounts first, always tax-advantaged first, then low-cost index funds. Then, high-value skills that directly raise his income ceiling. Every dollar has a destination before Graham can redirect it. Step 3. Automate it. Remove willpower from the equation entirely. Set it, done. Now, the honest math with the 695 split. $12,500 invested times 7% divided by 12 equals approximately $73 per month plus $500 monthly savings equals $573 per month effective rate. Second $20,000 arrives in approximately 32 months, still 20% faster than 40 months, with a full safety net. Those 2 extra months compared to the idealized 30, that's what buys Graham the certainty that one bad month will never force him to touch his investments. The 695 rule solves the mechanical problem, but the real acceleration comes from something else entirely. Something that walked into a conference room with Graham 3 months later. And that moment is worth more than any interest rate I've shown you today. Point 4. Small walkaway power plus escape velocity. The year before his $20,000 milestone, Graham walked into his annual review terrified. If I push too hard, what if they put me on a list? What if I'm first when they downsize? I can't afford to job search right now. He asked for a modest raise, got a modest raise, said thank you, and left. That fear is the poverty tax on your career, and it costs you in every room where your income gets decided. This year, Graham walked in with $20,000 in accounts he controlled. He didn't announce it. He didn't need to. But the number changed the conversation he was having with himself. He asked for $7,000 more. His boss countered. Graham paused, a real pause, and said, "I think my contributions this year support the number I gave you. I'd like you to reconsider." He got $4,500. $4,500 raise divided by 12 equals $375 per month straight back into the engine. Second $20,000 arrives even faster. This is small walkaway power, not I quit power. Let's talk about that power. Confidence compounds exactly the same way interest does. One unexpected expense before savings, I've ruined everything. One unexpected expense after savings, annoying, moving on. That emotional distance is worth real money. And here's the part of Graham's story nobody tells you. This same shift, the acceleration, the invisible returns, the confidence loop, happens again at $100,000. Except the shift isn't gradual, it's seismic. Graham is 29, $52,000 a year, no advantages, and right now his money is running a second shift alongside him. $20,000 didn't make Graham wealthy. $20,000 gave Graham escape velocity. Charlie Munger said it at a Berkshire Hathaway shareholder meeting in the late 1990s. The first $100,000 is a bitch, but you gotta do it. Walk everywhere. Never eat anything that wasn't purchased with a coupon. Find a way to get your hands on $100,000. At $100,000, that same 7% generates $583 a month passively, more than most people save from their paycheck in an entire month. Make sure you're subscribed to Beth Builds Wealth. See you in the next video.